The tragic tale of the talking calabash, a girl's desperate wishes and the price of greed. Lami was a poor but kind-hearted girl who lived in a small village in northern Nigeria. She had known nothing but hardship her whole life, waking up before dawn to fetch water, helping her mother sell roasted corn by the roadside, and going to bed hungry most nights. She was no stranger to suffering, but still her heart remained pure. She never complained, never envied those who had more. She found joy in the simplest things, a cool evening breeze, the laughter of children playing in the dust, the sound of her mother singing as she cooked. But deep inside, she wished for more. A better life. A life where hunger did not gnaw at her belly, where her mother did not sigh in exhaustion every night. A life where she was more than just the poor girl who never asked for too much. And then, one fateful day, she found it. It was hidden deep in the forest, buried beneath the roots of an ancient tree. A calabash, smooth, old and humming with an eerie energy. The moment her fingers touched it, she felt something shift inside her. Then a voice whispered, soft, mysterious, tempting.
Ask, and you shall receive.
Lami's heart pounded. Was this real? Was she dreaming? She hesitated, but then, almost without thinking, she whispered her first wish. I wish for food, enough for me and my mother. The ground trembled. The calabash glowed, and suddenly, right before her, baskets of steaming, delicious food appeared. Rice, yams, meat, more than she had ever seen in her life, she gasped. Was this real magic? That night, for the first time in years, she and her mother ate until they could eat no more. The next morning, her mother was confused. Where did this food come from? Lami hesitated. Should she tell? Should she share the secret? But something, a small voice inside her head told her no. From a kind stranger, she lied. Her mother's eyes narrowed, but she said nothing. Days passed. The calabash remained hidden under Lami's bed, and with each passing day temptation grew. She wished for clothes, for gold, for things she never thought she could have, and each time the calabash granted her desires. At first she was careful, modest, but greed is a quiet whisper at first, and before you know it, it becomes a roar. She started to want more than food, more than gold. She wanted people to see her, to admire her, to know that she was no longer the poor, helpless girl of the village. And that was where everything started to change. Her neighbours noticed. The village noticed. How did Lami suddenly become rich? They whispered. Some were happy for her, but others were suspicious. Her best friend, Zainab, pulled her aside one day. Lami, tell me the truth. Where is all this coming from? Lami hesitated. She could trust Zainab, couldn't she? And so she told her about the calabash, the magic, the wishes. Zainab's face turned pale. Lami, you must stop. Magic always comes with a price. Lami laughed. What price? There had been no consequences, nothing but abundance. She was blind, deaf, too intoxicated by her new life to listen to the warnings that echoed around her. But the price was coming, and when it arrived, it would be more than she ever bargained for. One evening, her mother fell ill, a sickness so sudden, so violent that no healer could explain it. Lami panicked. She knew. Deep in her bones, she knew it was the calabash. She ran to it, shaking, desperate. Please, she begged, heal my mother. I'll give everything back. Just heal her. But the voice that once whispered with sweetness now laughed. Cold, cruel, unforgiving.
Nothing comes for free, little girl. Lami
screamed, tears streaming down her face. Take my gold! Take everything! Just save her! Silence, and then her mother's last breath. Lami's world shattered. Her greed had taken the one person she truly loved. The wealth, the wishes, the food, it was all a lie. Nothing in the world was worth this pain. She ran to the river, clutching the cursed calabash, and with all the strength in her body, she hurled it into the rushing waters. But as it sank beneath the surface, the voice whispered one last time.
You can never undo what has been done.
The village buried her mother. But they never looked at Lami the same way again. Some pitied her, some feared her, some even whispered that she was cursed, and in a way, she was. She had learned the truth too late. The truth that greed is a hunger that can never be satisfied, that magic is never given, it is always borrowed, and one day the debt must be repaid. Lami lived the rest of her life simply, quietly, never asking for more than what her hands could earn. She became a warning, a lesson. Mothers whispered her name to their daughters at night, warning them of the dangers of desiring too much, because magic may give. but it will always, always take something in return. And so I ask you, what would you have done in Lami's place? Would you have stopped at one wish? Would you have resisted the temptation? Or would you have, like Lami, reached for more until there was nothing left to take? Tell me in the comments below. And remember, there is always a price for everything. Always. Moral of the story, wealth without work is a trap. Greed will always take more than it gives. And magic is never free. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe for more powerful, life-changing tales. And if you've ever witnessed greed destroy someone's life, share this video, because sometimes a lesson told at the right time can save a life.